What is going on YouTube? Kronos here, and welcome back to another PSO2 video. So today I wanted to go over the event rewards that we have available since the anniversary event starting up. But before we jump into that, guys, if you're new to the channel, my name is Chrono. I cover primarily PSO2 content. I'd much appreciate a subscribe as we work our way towards that 10K mark, hopefully by the end of the year. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into this. So, man, when I say these event rewards are dope, they are pretty top freaking tier. And you should definitely be paying attention to them, even if you're someone who's been playing pretty recently. More so if you haven't been playing recently and you're in a bit of catch up going into the new region. But definitely, if you're in that boat of players overall. But as far as the events rewards go overall, these are probably some of the best rewards I have seen. And we're gonna go ahead and talk about why. Now, I will say you're probably gonna see some videos talking about how to get the rewards, what they are, so on and so forth. I'm gonna show them to you really quick, but I mostly want to talk about why these rewards are important and moving towards the Kavaris region. So let's go ahead and pull this up. We're next to Tria, our good friend. Okay, zoom out just a little. We'll have our head cut off, that's fine. So when we talk to Tria, we have two options. We have exchange tickets and we have exchange seasonal points. So seasonal points are usual seasonal points shop with a bit of a twist on it, right? So we've got things like our normal mag, we have tons of stamps. We even have something cool. We have hover-B. So it's basically a hover with a different color scheme to it. It doesn't, I guess it's white this time around is what it's supposed to be. So that's kind of cool, I suppose. I've got, something else for my dash right now. I think my dash is black. My dash is dash C. So that's pretty easy, totally free to play, nothing you have to worry about there. So it looks like this is gonna be something that's pretty common, where they're gonna be bringing back previous dashes and movement types with different color types. So that's pretty cool. We've got the companion Anibal, super cute. And then a bunch of stamps. Now, stamps are all right, not too bad, but here's a really, really cool thing. I mean, of course, you have our usual star gems. Star gems are dope, and it's important to grab these early on, actually, because usually these shops reset after 2 weeks and they add more things to them. Whether it is they remove the things that were here previously and they add something new to it, or they just replace it, super, super good. One thing I wanted to mention was that these obscura weapons are actually kind of crazy. They are only 3K per, and they're plus 40. So if you're in a situation where you just don't have a weapon yet right now, and in the current region, it's level 15 that's required to equip a 5-star that's already plus 40 and only costs you 3K to get a hold of one. Absolutely bananas. They also have brought back, since the idea of using the weapons or the elemental weapons as a camo only came up with later updates. They actually have brought in camos for the previous weapon types that we've had. Only downside is, like the weapon types themselves, only weapons that were in that category of weapons that they came out are available in the camos. I think this is silly. These should just be all weapons. They should have designed them for everything. I don't know why they decide that, weapons need to be left out in certain situations versus having them in others. Just kind of, I guess, having different representation, but they kind of have representation for everything, in my opinion. But that's just, that's my own personal gripe. And this is only 20K a piece. So this is actually really, really reasonable. Nothing too crazy here. Then we've got the usual Dark Exploit. This is going to be useful all the way into Kavaris, maybe afterwards a bit too, depending upon the enemies. And then, of course, all of the enemies that we're fighting right now, including a bunch of the Urgent Quest bosses, I think minus Dark Falls, are all weak to Dark. So it's very, very useful right now if you're coming back and playing specifically at this moment. And then just a ton of different augments, stuff that's really, really cheap. Nothing too crazy here. Alpha reactors, always great to grab from these. And then, of course, the end augmentation success rate plus 10% if you want to go ahead and pick up a few extras. Now, like I said, the shop is pretty solid, but this isn't where the real craziness is. These NGS first anniversary ticket exchange, this is NGS first anniversary exchange tickets. What they're actually used for is this exchange ticket shop. Now, this is where things get kind of bonkers. As you can see, we have these plus 50 Schwartz armors. Now, I personally use 3 Schwartz armors. I personally believe in using Schwartz armors because I'm not really too concerned with the amount of PP that I have. I've got plenty with the setup that I go for. and for the class that I play. If you're something like Force or anything along those lines, basically I have an entire video talking about armors. Guess you go check those out. But why these are kind of insanely goated is they're already plus 50 and they have a decent spread on them to start with. If you guys checked out the video where I talked about augmenting on the cheap, this basically covers all of those situations. You've got Dreadkeeper 2, you have Soul 2, you have Stat 2. You've got something cheap that's easy to get a hold of, like in this case, a Stark Exploit. I would replace this Spirit maybe with one of like the I think they're called Tria Augments. Let me see. I want to see that's what they are. They're basically augments from the Trinitas. Yeah, they're the Tria Augments. And if I was gonna say I'd go with anyone specifically, there's one that's minus HP. I think it's Starro. Yeah, this is what I would go with in that situation. And again, these are super, super cheap. But you can go with whichever you prefer. Some, would rather have less PP. Some would rather have, less HP. It's just these augments are basically put in place to be an option of, a little bit of a downer versus some like a bit of a buff. But in my opinion, the minus 5 HP is next to nothing. So definitely worth going that route. But these units are absolutely phenomenal for someone who doesn't have anything, you haven't upgraded. You've basically been looking for every excuse under the sun why you shouldn't spend a single cent and why you don't have to farm. I know that seems a little bit targeted, but that's kind of like, I don't want to say the meme with the community, but that's kind of like the default response for a lot of people. Oh, I'm using Evil Coat. Oh, I'm using, Giant because it's not worth for me to upgrade, so on and so forth. To be honest, everyone has their own reason behind upgrading when they upgrade, but these are free. Like, these are so incredibly free, it's insane. So moving into the new region, there is no reason why you shouldn't at least be up to a short set. They even plus 50'd it for you, meaning they saved you roughly about $1 mil in costs for upgrading, since I think Strugment Cs are about 30k. You would need 30 of them. That's to count in also the A's and B's. I'm gonna say the B's are about 8k, the A's are about 2. So yeah, you're looking at about roughly $1 mil per unit. They saved you about 3 mil overall, which $1 mil per unit isn't even that much to ask for, in my opinion. This doesn't even count the materials that you need to upgrade everything, but it's just absolutely insane. Now there's going to be another thing that they're going to be going over, talking about weapons in the future. Later on this week, but as far as units go, this is like your template of where you start, and you do not have to put a lot into these. If you're someone that's like, hey, you know what, I don't want to spend a ton of money, I just want to make sure that I'm strong enough to go into the next region, and then the next region I'll spend my money. I'll be honest, most people who are like this really don't even go into the next region spending any money either. They tend to just not ever get there. They make the excuse consistently every single time, but that's besides the point. We're not going to be rude to those people. Let's say that they're waiting this region, next region's where they're going to go ahead and jump into this. Well, honestly, if that's the case, drop the Spirit 2, pick up like something like Alt-C Credit 2 maybe, or one of the Trias. Dark Exploit is going to be fantastic this entire event because it's just 2.5% for free, and most enemies are going to be weak to dark anyway unless you're fighting Dark Falls. So that's pretty much it. But I wanted to go ahead and go over this. I want to make this video too long. I feel like it's already long enough as it is already. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to toss them in the comments below. Like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you want to keep up with more, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Peace out.